Here are the top 6 winners after the 2025 NFL Draft, sponsored by Circa Stadium Swim. I'm going to start out with R.J. Harvey, now of the Denver Broncos. Now, many thought the Broncos, they were locked in on one of those premium bell cow backs in the first round. Nope. They traded up in the second round at a 28th pick, and they went with Harvey. Now, the current depth chart, Jaleel McLaughlin, undersized, last year very inefficient. Audric Estime going into last season, they were excited, mostly unimpressive. Harvey's 5'8", 205. That's not ideal size for a lead running back. However, this backfield lacks talent, and that could lead to Harvey seeing a significant workload. Also, Denver coach Sean Payton, one of the best offensive minds in the league. He can craft a rushing attack. He can get the running backs involved in the receiving game. This could work really, really well for Harvey. And the offensive line, very solid in Denver. Landing spot, draft capital, they mean almost everything. Harvey could be in for an excellent rookie season. Anthony, who you got?
Yeah, Mason Taylor could be one of the sneakiest draft winners with Tyler Conklin gone. All the Jets really have on this depth chart, they brought in Stone Smart, Jeremy Ruckert. These guys barely saw the field earlier in their career. Plus, new offensive coordinator Tanner Ekstrand helped design Sam Laporta's breakout year in Detroit. Taylor has a clear path to early snaps and could become a real factor in this offense fast. That's really lacking playmakers outside of Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. I think there's room for another pass catcher to step up, and it could be Mason Taylor. Watch camp reports. Mason Taylor could be unlocked in fantasy early on.
My next player who's a winner is Jayden Higgins of the Houston Texans. Now, the Texans used the number 34 overall pick to snag Higgins. Now, of course, Nico Collins, superstars on the roster. They paid $72 million over 4 years to Christian Kirk to be their slot receiver. They also, we'll talk later, drafted Jalen Noel. But Higgins, outside receiver, big-bodied. He has a clear, identified role that nobody is pressing him for. So this is a great spot. And catching passes from C.J. Stroud, nobody's going to complain about that. This is a team, they will put the offense most likely on Stroud's shoulders. Stroud was a little bit disappointing last year, but giving him this kind of talent on offense, now Higgins may not have monster numbers, but he's not going to be the focal point of any defense they face, and that gives him a great probability of a very high floor rookie season and more as we get into the future. Now we're offering 15% off all RotoWire products. You go to rotowire.com, you pick your favorite product, you use the code ROTO15, ROTO15 to score your 15% discount. Again, rotowire.com, use the code ROTO15 at checkout. Anthony, who you got next?
Yeah, Tre Harris. He might be a steal for the Chargers and for your fantasy football teams. Former high school quarterback, big-time size and athleticism. When healthy, he dominated on the collegiate level. Now, behind Ladd McConkey, the Chargers wide receiver depth chart is wide open. And Harris could quickly step in as the wide receiver, too, with guys like Mike Williams and Quinton Johnston. I think there's a realistic path for a breakout from Tre Harris. And with Justin Herbert slinging it, Harris is the deep sleeper you'll want to stash or spend late draft capital on.
My next player is Quinshon Judkins, now of the Cleveland Browns. Now, to the surprise of some, not me, Judkins was a third running back off the board, and it was the 36th pick in the draft. Now, Cleveland, in my mind, is a great landing spot. Competition-wise, Jerome Ford, decent pass catcher, not really worried there. We'll talk later about Dylan Sampson. Let's talk about him now. Dylan Sampson, 4th-round pick. Again, a player I think was kind of overestimated by draftniks, and that draft capital tells me that's kind of the case. Judkins is so far above these players, and now Kevin Stefanski's his coach. Understand that when Deshaun Watson came to town, Stefanski switched his whole offensive identity. Went to shotgun. They went to more of a spread attack with 3 receivers. At Stefanski's base, he was always a 2 tight end guy, run the ball, use play action, and I have to think there's a good chance he goes back to that this year. Judkins has a 3-down skill set, but remember, he split work with Travion Henderson in Ohio State. I believe we would see him in a full-time role in most other situations, and I think that's a role he's going to take right away. People will get a little nervous about Ford and Sampson. I'm not. Productive, high-end running back from day one.